Hey everyone, it's Faded Angelos here, coming at you with a video on free-to-play guide for progression and damage dealing calculation. So when you're first starting off, you have pretty much just a couple main stats to worry about when you first start off in the game. You're going to have attack, defense, elemental mastery, and your max stamina will go up automatically when you find the Oculus in both Mondstadt and Leeway. So you won't worry about that too much, but when you're dealing damage, obviously you want to worry about attack. So attack, the best way to level attack is one, get a highest star artifact you can of a feather, because that gives you flat attack early on, which is going to be amazing for you to do damage. Then you want to worry about your weapon. Obviously, how I'm building my official is I'm building her attack and crit. You won't have to worry about the demerits for investing in attack until way later, until you're like adventure rank 45 plus, because then you want to start worrying about taking away some of the attack that you've invested in and put it into elemental damage for that character. So for instance, down the road, you'll want to take away, like, this artifact would be perfect for you down the road. I just happened to cash it in because this was the free 4-star artifact you get from the cathedral, and I'll go ahead and show you where to get that really quick. If you haven't figured out this secret, there's been many videos out there showing people on where this 4-star artifact is. It's rolled randomly, so hopefully you get a good roll. Luckily I got electro damage and I have Beidou and official, so that worked out pretty well. Then because this was the free 4-star artifact you get from the cathedral, and I'll go ahead and show you where to get that really quick. If you haven't figured out this secret, there's been many videos out there showing people on where this 4-star artifact is. It's rolled randomly, so hopefully you get a good roll. Luckily I got electro damage and I have Beidou and official, so that worked out pretty well. But basically, right, you can get it as soon as you go into Mondstadt. So right as soon as you get into Mondstadt, you can go into the cathedral. Right, as soon as you get into the cathedral, you're going to talk to this nun right here. She will have an option. Is there anywhere good to go in Mondstadt? After you select that, she will have an option for you to talk to her that has a treasure chest. Select that one, you will get the 4-star artifact, and you'll also get an achievement. So from that point on, that's the first 4-star artifact you'll get right at the game's beginning. Then after that, from then on, because you're going to be level 1, you're going to be low adventure rank, you're going to look at the 2 and 3-star artifacts that you pick up, and you're obviously going to want them to be stats you're looking for. So like the pocket watches, obviously you want attack if they're a damage dealer. Now the mask, you can go a couple different ways. I didn't have an attack mask because I put it on Beidou, but this is a 4-star mask for the crit set, so I gave it to official, so now she has increased crit rate, and if I were to upgrade this to plus 16, which is the max, it's going to end up with like 20% crit, which is still pretty nice to have, but you don't want to overtune crit. You'd rather have flat attack over crit. Now some of these have locked stats, like the HP on the flower and attack, that's locked. Those are the 2 that are locked. So you'll always have HP on the flower as the main stat, you'll always have attack on the feather. You want to overtune crit. You'd rather have flat attack over crit. Now some of these have locked stats, like the HP on the flower and attack, that's locked. Those are the 2 that are locked. You'll always have HP on the flower as the main stat, you'll always have attack on the feather. You want to look at the substats. So for this flower, this has crit rate and attack and energy recharge, which is going to be some of the best stats you can have for a damage dealer. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to my official right there. And now you have a chance, you have a 3 out of 4 chance every time you upgrade it that it will, after level 4, obviously, because I haven't gotten my fourth stat alignment. Once I get that 4th stat alignment, I have 3 out of 4 chance to have a good roll upgrade for this flower every time I upgrade it every 4 levels. So that's a good piece of equipment. The feather is also a pretty good piece of equipment. Like I said, you mostly have it there for the flat attack, and you want as high as rarity as possible. Just like with my Beidou, she's sitting on a 3-star one. It actually has percentage attack, elemental mastery. It's a pretty good feather to start off with early game. The same with the Hourglass, that has attack for her. The Pocket Watch for Official has the attack percentage, but as you see, there's his defense and flat attack and elemental mastery. 2 out of 3 of those are okay. Defense, you're not really going to need too much early game. Later on, people will argue, but it really depends on what your skills scale with, which we'll get into that in another video. So first and foremost, we look at the stats that it gave me for my elemental or electro damage bonus glass. So they gave me flat defense, energy recharge, attack, and defense percentage. I got trolled really hard because they gave me 15% defense bonus on this cup. They could have given me attack bonus, that would have been great. But they gave me flat attack, energy recharge, flat defense, and defense percentage. So this, later on, you will want to swap this piece out because it's not very well rolled. And what I mean by rolled is there's a randomized chance for you to get every 4 levels and stat allocation. And so let's just say they started off with just the defense on it. At level 4, it would have given me energy recharge. At level 8, it would have given me attack. And at level 12, it would have given me the defense percentage. But it didn't start off like that. It gave me defense, recharge, and attack all on there. And then the same with this one. This one is mediocre. Like, it has crit rate on it. If I roll attack percentage as a substat, that would be great. But it's probably not going to happen. So you want to focus on everything that you can to optimize your character's attack as early as possible. Early game, the most benefit you're going to get is flat attack. So you want to upgrade feather and weapon as soon as possible. Even better if you can get a weapon that has an attack percentage substat on it. So like I don't have one. Crit damage might be a good one for me to go. But that just focus on enemy weak points, which I don't do much with Official unless it's a Ruin Guard. So I just kind of leave that one alone. So same with Beidou, you can't ascend her till you use 120% of her defense. Her damage absorption is 160% of her defense plus 770, and her healing is 21.3% of her defense plus 103. So you're obviously going to want to scale nothing but defense on her. So that's why I gave her the weapon bonus defense, the White Iron Greatsword. And also, I don't think I focused this. I think I just threw, well, she has defense there. Okay, so I did focus it. I gave her a crit headpiece, but really, I probably didn't have anything else to give her. But you want to just focus just on defense for her. If she's your only healer until you get to level 20 when you unlock Barbara, that's what you're going to want to do to make her effective. And her elemental burst sweeping time also gives you an attack bonus of 40% of your defense. So the more defense you scale, the harder she'll hit during that time. Now, other characters, like the main character, you can get away with building attack with. He just does initial damage. Anytime it doesn't specify another stat as the scaling, it's all going to be based off your attack. Attack influences both elemental damage and the physical attack damage you do with your normal attacks. Now, what elemental mastery scales with and what it influences is when you combine 2 attacks. And 2 elements. So like if Razor attacked with Amber, that'd be overload, right? Well, then it would calculate whoever closed the damage, if they have high elemental mastery, it's going to create more overload damage. So you want the person who's going to attack last, closing the elemental skill, to have the highest elemental mastery so it does the most damage. Now, other talents that scale really well is Barbara. Barbara, you should just be building max HP with, because everything she has scales off HP. So that means that your heal, your elemental skill, and your elemental burst will heal you for a ton if you have a lot of HP built on her. So that's what you should focus on her. Fischl's focus, it's attack and elemental damage. Amber's focus, if you're building her, attack and elemental damage. Probably not so much elemental damage unless you've got an energy recharge for her ultimate. And then Razor's the same. If you have him, this is my free-to-play account, so I only have a couple characters, but you'd be attack and elemental damage. Kaya, attack, elemental damage. Lisa, attack, elemental damage. There are a couple characters that do specify specifically on what they should be building. But if you feel like you're lacking on defense, start looking for equipment that has attack and elemental damage, and you will start faring a lot better when it comes to fighting and clearing enemies. Right now, my Bideau is kind of losing to Fischl in damage, but that's because Fischl has the electro damage bonus cup that's really putting in work for her compared to Bideau. And the crit rate is also helping. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. I will come out with more video character-specific guides on what you should be doing and which talents you should be upgrading first and foremost on characters and stuff like that in future videos. But leave a comment, or leave a like, a comment, and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.